Let me just get that microphone in so that I am mic'd up and ready to go. Apologize. There are some phrases you learn when you're a child and you think, I don't know if that'll ever be useful to me as an adult, but yeah, all the best plans of mice and men, all the best plans that we make sometimes falter a little bit. It doesn't quite pan out the way we imagined it would. I thought I'd come on all slick and smooth, perfectly ready. Apparently not. I wasn't mic'd up, but now hopefully you can hear me. Wonderful to be with you this morning, my beautiful souls. This morning, I want to welcome you to my wellness session and this wellness space. So, if you're joining me after the live, just get yourself a nice glass of water, make yourself comfortable, and get ready to enjoy a live that is encouraging and inspiring and is challenging you to reconsider your thinking and to get a spark. This week has all been about getting a spark. I've been here. Good morning, Eternity. How lovely to see you. I'm doing really well today. You always raise my vibe, so it's always wonderful to see you. I want to say this is my super fan and also my subscriber of the month, Eternity Lewis. She's my subscriber of the month. Now, in the comments, please let me know where you're watching from. Where are you watching from? I'm in London. I've got a nice scenery behind me, not quite what London looks like at the moment. It's a little bit wet. There are lots of leaves falling everywhere, but still has that lovely vibe about it. London is effervescent, it's full of life. So, where are you? Do let me know in the comments. If you're watching after, just let me know. It'd be lovely to know how far am I reaching? How far am I connecting? It would be wonderful to know where you are. Now, I'm really glad you're here because this session is for anyone who has ever felt like they were feeling left behind, as if everyone else feels as if they're moving forward to you, but you're stuck on the spot and you're just jogging on the spot in one space, not getting anywhere. I'd really want to encourage you today to raise your spark, raise your vibe, to raise your passion, and for you to realize that you are accomplishing, you are achieving. There are different ways of looking at this. So if at the moment you're feeling a little bit stagnant, a little bit as if you're not achieving, you're not accomplishing, then this live is definitely for you. Maybe your plans changed. Maybe your motivation dimmed a little bit, or you don't feel like yourself lately. This morning, we're just going to gently reignite that inner spark and remind you that your story isn't over and your pace is perfect for you. It's not about comparing yourself to others this morning. It's about recognizing that you are going to accomplish at a pace that is perfect for you. Not everybody moves at the same pace, but I'll tell you something, we all accomplish in the end. We'll get there. I remember being at primary school and learning to read. Not all of us were the fastest, the quickest. We didn't grasp everything at the same pace. When you look at primary school ages and you calculate it, in actual fact, some of us were almost a year older than others. There are people who had their birthday just at the cusp of September, just to be able to get into that year group. And there were others who were almost a year younger. So we were at different stages, different points in our progression, in our maturity, in our ability to grasp, understand, comprehend, and do. I remember not being able to pick things up immediately, not as quickly as others, but by the end of the academic year, we were all in a similar space. We were all there and we could all do it. At the end of that year, like when we were 5 years old, we could all do our basic reading. There wasn't anyone who couldn't read. We could all read. We understood how to do that. We could do our basic maths. 1 and 1 makes 2. 2 and 2 makes 4. We could all do that. So wherever you are now, don't consider, oh, it's too late for me. It's never too late. It's never too late to progress. It's never too late to go forward. And it's never too late to achieve your dreams or to achieve your goals. Thank you so much for joining, Jurhaj. I think that's how I pronounce it, at Jurhaj. Lovely to see you this morning. And if I have time, I will come back to your question. But this morning, we have a wellness live. And it's an opportunity for us to relax and to reaffirm ourselves and to recognize that, yes, we still have a spark, we still have an option, we still have an opportunity. Essentially, it's not over till it's over. Enough of the cliches, let's start going. I'd like us to take a moment to do a breathing exercise. And so I'm going to ask you to breathe in hope and to exhale doubt. And that's where we're going to begin, just with a calming breathing exercise. It is, after all, a wellness session. You're going to inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth. You're inhaling calm and peace and hope, and you're exhaling any doubts. I want to assure you, whatever you set your mind to do, whatever you decide to accomplish, whatever plans you make, you will achieve it. You will. You'll get there. They say, what was the best time to plant a tree? The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. Eternity's probably heard me say this. She follows me on TikTok, so she would have heard me speak about this subject earlier in the week. Today I'm approaching it in a slightly different way. It's a bit more YouTube. However, this remains the same. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The reason for that being, if you planted it 20 years ago, you would have shade and you'd have fruit if it was a fruit tree. However, if you didn't plant your tree, which is just a metaphor for transition, change, progress moving forward, if you didn't plant that tree 20 years ago, the next best time to plant that tree is right now. I hope that that gives you some encouragement and it allows you to get a spark. Let's inhale through our nose, exhale through our mouths. And we're going to do this around 5 times, okay? And as we inhale, we're going to connect with our breathing, place one hand on our heart. Do that now. Can you feel your heart beating? What a wonderful feeling. We're just appreciative, aren't we? We're alive. Isn't it wonderful to be alive? Place one hand on your stomach. Wonderful. Just give yourself a moment to connect with yourself in that way. I'll scoot back a little bit. One hand on your heart, one hand on your stomach. Awesome. Just feel that heart beating. What a wonderful feeling it is. Carrying that life-giving blood through your body, oxygenating, keeping you alive. You're going to breathe in slowly through your nose for the count of 4. And then you're going to exhale through your mouth for the count of 5. And this is a wellness live. It's a chance for us to relax and connect with ourselves. It's a chance for us to raise our vibe. Okay? As you place your hand on your heart and one hand on your tummy, good morning, Genevieve. You will begin to feel your body soften. Can you feel it now? Your body gently softening. Hand on heart, hand on tummy. You'll begin to feel your heart steady. Always a surprise when I place my hand on my heart and I feel the beating. Sometimes I forget it does that. Wonderful feeling. My heart strong, pumping that blood through. As you breathe, say silently to yourself, I am becoming. I move at the pace of my purpose. Wonderful. Let's begin by inhaling for the count of 4. Hold for 3. Exhale through your mouth for the count of 5. You ready? And inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. And hold. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now say to yourself silently, I am becoming. I move at the pace of my purpose. And again, inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. And hold. 1, 2, 3. And exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Gently blowing that breath out through your lips. And repeat after me, silently to yourself. I am becoming. I move at the pace of my purpose. And again, inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. And hold. 1, 2. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I am becoming. I move at the pace of my purpose. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. I am becoming at the pace of my purpose. Wonderful. And once more, inhale and hold. Exhale, breathing out slowly between your lips, and repeat after me. I am still becoming. I move at the pace of my purpose. How do you feel? Let me know in the comments if that has made you feel more relaxed and more calm. If you can, double tap the screen and like the live. That would be wonderful. If you're joining me for the first time, I'm Jeanette, Wellness Coach. Please subscribe. It'll be wonderful to connect with you on future Saturdays. I'm here each Saturday at 9 o'clock. The message today is when life feels like it's passing you by. Maybe it isn't. Maybe you're becoming at the pace of your own purpose. Sometimes we look around and think, everyone's doing better than me. We do. It's understandable sometimes we do compare ourselves to others and they seem to be progressing so well. And we begin to think, I'm stagnant. They're traveling, they're achieving, they're smiling. And here I am just trying to get through the day. But here's the truth. You're not behind. You are growing quietly in places that the eye cannot see. Your growth at this point in time could be internal, in places that even you are not aware of, in places that maybe even you cannot see. The truth is, you're healing. As you wait, as you continue to press in, as you don't give up, you're learning patience, you're growing resilience and strength. Things that can't be measured by a timeline or by social milestones. You are growing, you are developing. Every morning when you wake up and you hit the sunrise, you meet with resilience, and it's proof that your story is still unfolding. I was thinking this morning about a wonderful example of resilience. It came in the form of a lady whose profile is called She Foresaw Hosea. Now, my subscriptions on TikTok have been crazy. They've been really upside down. I've done everything I can to get them the right way up. Much of the time it says you have no subscribers, yet people join me on TikTok and they comment. I know they're subscribing, otherwise they wouldn't be able to comment. She Foresaw Hosea said, I came off your live the other day, Jeanette, because I couldn't comment. And I said, please keep trying. Don't give up. You will be able to subscribe. Just don't give up. She messaged me yesterday and said, Jeanette, I tried 5 times and eventually I subscribed. I was just like, yes, that's resilience. Her name comes up. According to TikTok, I have 1 subscriber, and that is She Foresaw Hosea. She comes up. This is an example of resilience. She didn't give up. She kept going. She got through. She has her subscription. She can comment. You need to hold on. Recognize that you're accomplishing your achievement. You're achieving because you're not giving up. You're resilient. you will achieve the goal. You may not see it manifested. It might not be there right in front of you right now, but you are going to get there. Sometimes we have to trust the process. The process is that we don't give up, we keep going, we accomplish, and we achieve. Sometimes that's what the process is. Close your eyes for a moment and join me with a visualization. I'll give you a moment just to close your eyes. Well done. Imagine you're standing in a quiet garden at sunrise. Air is cool, the sky is painted gold. In the center of the garden is a small glowing light. You recognize it, feel a sense of connection to it. It's your spark. It may have dimmed, but it's never gone out. As you breathe in, imagine that light growing brighter, spreading warmth throughout your chest, your shoulders, your mind. That spark represents your hope, your purpose, your energy. Let it remind you you are still here for a reason. Breathe that light into your heart and say quietly, I am ready to rise again. Once more, I am ready to rise again. Wonderful. Now, here are some tips for how to spark and reignite your optimism. How do you get that back? Start your day with gratitude. Name three things that still bring you peace. If you wish, share one of them with me in the comments now. Name something that brings you peace. We'd love to know what that is. Name something. I'll give you a moment to do that. Something you're grateful for that still brings you peace. For me, it is always flowers. Flowers are effervescent for me. They do die, of course they do. After a week and a half, they begin to fade, their petals fall. But when I buy them, it's like I have a little bit of peace in my hands whilst I'm buying them. Even when I pick them up and I choose them, it's like I have a special type of peace. Every time I pass them, whenever I sit in the living room and I look at them on the coffee table, they spark me. They just bring me a wonderful sense of peace, a wonderful sense of connection. I love flowers. If you have any questions, I'll come back and I will answer them at the end of the live, okay? Thank you so much, Veronica. Celebrate one small win each day. Think back to last week. What was the victory that you had last week? What was a win that you had? What was something you achieved that maybe otherwise you felt maybe you couldn't have accomplished? What was your win last week? Listen, my win is to be able to adjust and sort out my TikTok subscriptions. That's a huge win for me. My growth is also here on YouTube. Another one of my wins is to see that one of my videos had 86 views. I'm so pleased. Listen, 86 is a whole lot more than none. 86 views was wonderful. One of my shorts had over 1,000 views. That was fantastic. What a wonderful win. My wins are self-development, growth, and connecting. What are your wins? What are the things that make you feel accomplished? Where do you see your signs of growth? Feel free to share if you wish. If you've just joined me, feel free to subscribe. I'd love to see you back next Saturday at 9 o'clock. It'll be awesome. Celebrate your small win each day. There must be a little one. There is something you've managed to accomplish. Listen, the other day I was trying to get the lid off a jar. And I was just like, oh my goodness, I don't know what it was. I don't know whether it was irregular, it had been damaged, but I really struggled. It was a huge win for me. Geneve says she appreciates music. That's what does it for her. That's what raises her vibe. That's what makes her happy. I don't blame you. Music is wonderful healing. It's great for the soul, reignites your spirit, your purpose, everything that you are. You know, we were created to connect and to enjoy music. I just see that. Right. Talk kindly to yourself. Speak nicely to yourself, day in and day out. I always say, be your own best friend. That's so important. Your best friend should be you. You should be your own cheerleading squad, your own encouragement. You should be able to look yourself in the eye in the morning, look yourself in the eye in the mirror, and say, I love you. And you should mean it. Love begins with loving yourself, the greatest love of all. Spend 10 minutes in nature. Even if it's beside an open window, at the door. Yesterday, was it yesterday, the day before, Thursday, it was by the door for me. I didn't go out. It was pouring with rain and I had so much to do. I had a lot of work to get through. I had an online course to complete as well. And I stood at the door. I looked out at the front door. I watered a few plants because it was pouring with rain. So I had some plants under the porch and I watered them. And I spent 10 minutes just in nature. It was absolutely wonderful. Move your body gently. Do some stretching. Does you the world of good. Do some gentle walking. Awesomely good for you. Move your body gently. Maybe some yoga. Maybe you enjoy that practice. Nothing wrong with it. Gentle treatment of your body. And if you feel sometimes that your body lets you down, what about just putting a hand on your body? If maybe you have issues with your stomach, what about putting your hands on it and saying, thank you? Thank you for working well and supporting me. Do you know that your tummy will potentially work even better after you've done that? If you've got arthritis, put your hands where it is, maybe it's in your hips, and say, thank you. Thank you for working with me. Thank you for all that you do. Maybe in your knees, do the same thing. Put your hands on your knees and say, thank you for all that you do. It's a wonderful practice. There's healing in it. I'll tell you the truth. Limit comparison. Don't compare yourself to others. Stay in your lane and slay in your lane. I love that phrase. Slay in your lane. Stay in your lane. You know, consider yourself the tops. You're the best. Don't compare yourself to others because there's only one you, and you're awesome. You're amazing. Continue to remember that. Remind yourself of that. I'm the best. I'm awesome. I'm amazing. I'm the best version of me that there has been yet. I'm growing. I'm going to get better and better. I'm going from strength to strength. Continue to reaffirm yourself in who you are, in the fact that you are on a unique journey that is all yours, but it's a good journey, that you are making progress. Without comparisons, I'm doing good. I think about the champion runners. You've never seen one of them stop on the track and look to the left or look to the right. They don't compare themselves, they just run their own race. Ah, thank you, Geneve. Continue to run your own race. This is your race. I'll tell you something, the race is not for the swift. Mm-mm. Swift people don't always achieve in the race. They look good at the beginning, they're going for it. It's those who can endure. It's those who are consistent and continue on who accomplish in the end. You know, sometimes the tortoise would achieve more than the hare. You know what I mean? Consistency. Reconnect with what made you feel alive as a child. What made me feel alive as a child? I must confess, my own childhood didn't have a great deal of things that made me feel especially alive and vital. Awesome, Geneve. She says she's going from strength to strength, which she is, going and growing from strength to strength. You are. You are accomplishing, you're achieving, you're transforming, you're adjusting, you're adapting, and most of all, Geneve, you are winning. You have winner written all over you. It's in your DNA. You are winning. When I was a child, I didn't have many of the things that the children around me had. There was a gap, a poverty gap. And so many of us came from homes where we didn't have a lot of the things that the children on the other side of the tracks appeared to have. I remember when we had Bring Your Toys to School Day, we didn't really have toys that we could bring to school. We didn't come from a culture that encouraged toys. It wasn't something that was part of our immediate culture. You read books and you were creative. You went and did something. You went and found something to do. That was the culture. You engaged yourself in other things. We came from a more agricultural background, and there were always things to do in that environment. You joined in with the adults. You helped them with farming, growing. You did all the jobs that were attached to that. You learned to sew, you learnt a few things of that nature. You were creative, so you created things. We didn't really have an atmosphere and environment of toys. It wasn't something that was familiar to our families, many of us. And so when it was toy day, we didn't have toys to bring to school. And we looked on and we saw other children with dollies and trains and other types of toys that were a real curiosity to us. They weren't a part of what we had. However, later on in life, there were many opportunities for me to indulge myself and to have the things that I had lacked in childhood. No, I didn't necessarily buy dollies for myself. I bought them for my grandchildren, my nieces, my godchildren. And it's been awesome. Up to 2 weeks ago, I bought a dolly for my goddaughter's daughter. So she's like my grand goddaughter. I bought her a lovely dolly, a lovely Barbie dolly from the United States of America. I brought it over for her. And she's so happy with it. She's really pleased. Not only did that give her pleasure, it gave me pleasure too. Reconnect with the things of your childhood. Reconnect with what you enjoyed as a child. If you enjoy drawing, sewing, creating, be creative now. There's no reason not to. You don't have to tell everybody what you're doing. What you do in your private time is entirely up to you. You don't have to showcase your art. Maybe you need to warm up to it a little bit. Keep it simple in the beginning, and then you'll see your true potential coming through. And then you'll have something you want to share. But remember, the world still needs what you can bring into it. And what you bring is what only you can bring. I can't bring to this world what you bring. You can. And so I want you to hold on to that as my last point this morning, afternoon. I'm getting ahead of myself. My last point this morning is bring in what you are uniquely designed to bring. Remember, your purpose is about your gift. You have your gift, and your purpose is to share it. Share your gift with others who will be blessed by it. I'd like to ask you some questions that I would ask you to reflect on. And if you journal, maybe put one of these questions in your journal with your answer. Take a moment to think about these. What part of you have you been neglecting lately? If you want to, feel free to put it in the comments. What part of you have you been neglecting lately? That's important. At some time, we're going to neglect something. We are. We're going to neglect some aspect of ourselves because we focus on one thing and then we forget another thing and we have to come back to it. Sometimes we neglect our health. Sometimes we're being a little bit irresponsible with our finances. Sometimes it's our relationships. We need to build those up and reconnect. So, what part of you have you been neglecting lately? Have a think about it. Where in your life do you feel a quiet pull to begin again? Have a think about that. Is there somewhere in your life that you feel you need to begin again? Need to make a fresh start in that particular area? That would be good. And as we rest during the weekend and prepare to embark on next week, what would optimism look like for you next week? Feel free to write your answers in the chat or to put them in your journal. What would optimism look like for you next week? Now, I'd love to answer the questions that I've been asked. There was a question about Spotify Do I have Spotify? Yes, I listen to Spotify, Veronica. I'm also on Spotify. I have I think they're podcasts on Spotify. A few. I've got about 10, and they are under. I couldn't use my business name for them. That was taken. So they're under Keep Your Face to the Sunshine. I think that's what they're under. Keep Your Face to the Sunshine. And it's Jeanette McLean, my name. So you may well find me there. That's on Spotify. And there are 10 there. I have a new channel on Spotify, but I haven't started recording there yet. So that one doesn't have any content. But Keep Your Face to the Sunshine. It comes from a quote, which is keep your face to the sunshine where you will not see a shadow even after dark. So yes, you'll find me there. Hi, Karen. Doing things for yourself, taking time and pampering. I love that. What a fantastic response. Oh, well done, Karen. I'm applauding you. I love that for you. That's absolutely brilliant. Karen, have you subscribed this morning? I hope you have, so that we can connect again. Because I feel that wonderful sense of connectedness. You're a very special person because you're making an effort. You see, you are what transition is all about. You're willing to do the do. Some people are not willing to take an action, but you are. And that for you, Karen, will always bring reward. Thank you so much for responding. Sending you some love right now. There was another question. I'm going to scroll down so I can find it. I don't know if this person's still here. It was, what is my opinion about Exodus 21, 20 to 21? I'm so sorry, Ija Hedge. I'm not sure because I can't remember what that is. I'd have to look. Bear with me. I've got 1 minute. I'll quickly check. Exodus 21. I just need a prompt. Oh, okay. Well, Ija Hedge, it effectively what you're talking about is taking revenge, really, and the laws, which were things like an eye for an eye, those principles. But Mahatma Gandhi said it really well. Mahatma Gandhi said, an eye for an eye will make the whole world blind. You know that, Ijahaj? That's what Gandhi said, and I think it's true. I think if we kept up with the eye for eye principle, the whole world would go blind. Now, I'm not saying that God isn't God, He is. But remember, God said we are in His image. This is my opinion, and you're entitled to yours. My opinion is that God said we were created in His image. And I see in the biblical narrative that there were some things He did that He didn't do again. At one point he flooded the whole earth. He got rid of everybody apart from Noah and his family. And then he sent the rainbow, and he said that was a sign of his covenant with man and that he would never do that again. And so we have a God who I think grows like we do. I really think he does. And so therefore, I don't feel that we need to be considering an eye for an eye or avenging ourselves or revenge, because the realization is that it makes our hearts feel dark. And a dark heart isn't a good heart. It's an unclean heart. It's a troubled heart. It's a heart that lacks peace. I feel that we should begin to accept things that have happened. I do feel that criminals, of course, should be prosecuted. Criminals should be imprisoned. I agree with that. A part of what you're talking about is about the keeping of servants, male servants being released after 6 years. Well, there's all of that as well. That was a form of slavery. But the nice thing about it was that they kept them as servants. They didn't actually maltreat them. In that custom, slaves, which were servants, were not treated in the same way as the slave trade. It was very, very different, not as ugly at all. But I think it was wonderful that after so many years, it was dictated that they should be let go and they should be free to make a decision to stay with the family or to move on. I hope that answers your question. Thank you so much for joining me this morning, everyone. I'm off to TikTok. Yep, I'm going to be there in about 2 minutes to do a Saturday live. And I look forward to connecting with you here next Saturday at 9 o'clock. Thank you so much, Eternity. You're so sweet. Peace, love, and light to you. Eternity and Genevieve, my top subscribers. of the month. They're my top subscribers of November. Thank you so much for joining me, ladies. Thank you, Karen. Lovely to connect with you. Have an awesome week. I'm off to TikTok, where you'll find me as A Word in Due Season. Thank you, Colorado Gamer. A Word in Due Season on TikTok. I'm off to do a live there. If you want to join me, come over. If not, see you here next Saturday, I hope. And I hope that you've subscribed, okay, so that we can reconnect again, because I've loved being in your company. Your vibes are absolutely awesome. They are so positive. Have an awesome week, Karen. And I do have a word for you. You see, I'm a word in due season. You are welcome. Karen, it seems to me you're going through something, but I want you to remember this week you're going through it. Girl, you are not staying in it. You are going to come out the other side, okay? Peace, love, and light to you. Take care. Bye for now. How do I get out of here? Bye for now. Bye bye.